we here? How are we looking there, guys? Are we live? We're just waiting to see if it's going to come up on the screen, guys. How are you? Hope you're really well. I'm awesome. Old mate here is actually Ronnie, a good friend of mine, aka Retro. He's part of the Australian Anti-Ice Campaign team, and blessed to have him on the couch today. He's got a lot to share about methamphetamine and recovery. Like I said in my promo video, I'm going to stop there. Are we actually live? Is it working? Yeah, it's all good? Because I can't see it up there, so...
Yeah, you are.
You're on.
It's all good? Okay, sweet.
I'm just trying to get this.
Like I shared on the promo video a couple of days ago, I'm really interested. Retro's got, how many years clean is it?
15.
It's got 15 years clean under his belt, which for me is really impressive. I'm close to 3 years, so to speak to someone that's been through 15 years of recovery and abstained for that long is awesome. A lot of wisdom to share with us. Just 2 seconds, guys. We're getting some stuff organised.
Just do a shout out.
Yeah. Do a shout out, guys. If this is live stream now, if you can shout out to us, that'd be great. Santana, if you're watching, give us a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Oh, and by the way, I totally agree. Such an awesome show last week. I totally agree with all the comments referring to Santana's bravery and her courage and what an inspiration she is. And it was awesome to have her on the show. She's really going to be leading the charge with the educational program in the schools. And being so young, man, it's just she could really build a rapport with the kids and, you know, touch a lot of lives.
That's right.
Yeah, awesome young lady. Are we good?
Want to know who's watching your live videos? Swipe left to see viewers. Swipe left.
So guys, we've got the Gold Coast show as well. Is it cool to keep going? Is that filming?
Yeah.
Is it? It's just not coming through there. It was initially.
Yeah. It's not.
It was. That's because you're on that phone. Is it on Dre instead of this one?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that on there.
Yeah.
But you are actually
Okay.
live. So you
Yeah.
have,
All good.
you have
Okay, guys.
Natasha.
Natasha, hey, thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, we've got the Gold Coast show starting tomorrow. We've got a stall down there. So come down and say hello, meet the team on the ground. If you want any information about AIC, what we're all about, what we're doing, the educational program, some of the courses you can do. If you just want to come down and say hello, feel free. I mentioned last week, volunteers. We are in need of volunteers. AIC is growing all the time. We're getting new people all the time, and it's expanding all the time. So we need people to help put their hands up. It doesn't matter your skill set, guys. We'll find something for you to do.
Ask Natasha. Ask Natasha.
Natasha.
How to get on live.
Natasha, is the live stream, if you're out there, Natasha, is the live stream just coming straight onto Facebook, or do you need to click into something for it to be live? If you could type up your answer. We've just got a new, guys, we've got a new setup tonight, which is amazing. It is more like Hollywood than last week, but we're just getting used to it, working out how to set it all up, so bear with us.
Makeup.
Yeah, makeup. We need some makeup, yeah?
Straight up.
Hey?
She said straight up.
Oh, straight up, yeah, so it's just, as soon as you go live, you should be able to see it. Awesome. So we just need another 3,700 people to join us, and we'll be good. Hey, I found sight, guys. Hey, Natasha, straight up. Awesome.
Jim, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, Jim. Lots of cool comments last week,
Yeah,
Jim.
awesome.
Good to see ya.
Big fella.
Very nice. Share it, guys. If you can see anyone live on Facebook, maybe give them a quick PM and invite them to tune in and watch the show or share the page. Yeah, you know it, Jim. Straight up. Yeah, that's right. This is a new handshake. Show me, Joe.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
I love it. I love it. Guys, so Gold Coast Show, definitely go and check that out. A lot of cool people there, and yeah, you can find out everything you want to know down there. I think is Sharon running the stall?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just ask for Sharon, she's sort of leading it down there. Guys, we've also...
Barbecue.
The barbecue,
Barbecue at Bunnings.
at Bunnings on Saturday, that's right, I saw barbecue on Bunnings, it's the one in, off Brisbane Road, is it?
Olsen Avenue.
Olsen Avenue. So the Bunnings are Olsen Avenue. We're doing a stall there with the sausage sizzle. So come down, say hello. All donations going back into AAIC. Get there quickly because if I'm there, I'll eat it all. So yeah, come down, guys. We've got lots of cool things happening. So if you want to meet everyone, come and check it out. Had a few comments. Is that a question? Had a few comments about the shirts, guys. Got people asking where you can get them, and very soon, guys, they're going to be available online with all proceeds going into the educational program, so we can get the kids educated. And I mean, that's why I'm here personally, is to educate the youth. Retro is one of our presenters as well, so you know that's why I'm here. I really want to educate the youth. I feel it's a disservice, like I've said heaps of times, for us to send our kids out into the world these days without knowledge about this drug.
Absolutely, and prevention's always better than the cure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like get in there early, man.
That's where you got to get them before they start.
Yeah, exactly right. Remember, guys, the stats in 2015 from the National Task Force, they say that 27 youth a day picking up the drug and only 2% are getting clean once addicted to ice. Crazy figures. So the shirts, guys, we've got some shirts here. You would have seen the one last week. Got a lot more coming. We're going to have an online store soon where you can purchase these shirts, and yeah, like I said, donations or proceeds are going back into AAIC to educate our kids. So, any more logistical stuff, guys? No, that's cool. Okay, my friend Retro here has been through a full-on journey, using illicit drugs from a really young age. How young were you when you started using just drugs generally, man?
Well, do you want me to give the trigger point why it started, or?
Yeah, we can get into that. Like, how old were you when you started, and yeah, why?
Well, I was roughly around the age of 14. I was still at school. I mean, life was going pretty good for me. My dad was a plasterer. I had a stay-at-home mum. And I had a fairly uneventful teenage life until one weekend it was shattered by, I got interfered with by a personal family friend, or a trusted family friend, and that just left me shattered, guilt-ridden, and because I had no support, it made it even worse. So it just, I was honestly, I felt depressed and tormented by that experience.
Can you tell me, man? Just I'm going to dive in a little bit,
sure.
man, because I'm really interested to know, and this is going to help a lot of people out there. Before that event, man, to tell us what sort of person were you growing up?
Well, I was easy come, easy go. You know, I was pretty sporty.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't really have a care or worry in the world. You know.
Yeah.
And when that happened, something in me it haunted me, that experience. So shortly after that, I began to experiment with alcohol and marijuana, and I found that this was taking away that emotional torment and guilt. Shortly after that, and I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pleasure of it because it was switching off my personal pain.
So it was like suppressing it more than taking it away.
Absolutely, it was suppressing. Yeah, it was just switching off that personal pain, that guilt. It was like a pressure cooker, but it was sealing it. But you know, with the highs come the lows, obviously, and because of my continued prolonged use, I felt that my behaviour was actually changing, because firstly I was becoming snooky to have to do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was costing me money, obviously.
Yeah.
And and that's where the lying, stealing, and cheating starts. And it just doesn't get any better. It only makes you feel worse.
Still living at home, man?
Yeah, still at home. And then, like I said, it's just one of those things, because it wasn't dealt with at the root, at the grassroots of it. You know, try and make better decisions than I did.
Pretty hard, man. At
I know,
14,
what,
that's
what do you do?
yeah.
It's, you know,
Like at 14 years old, that's fine now.
Mm.
You know, with these years of hindsight, you know, and we can. I'm sure all of us who've had experiences, man, we go, well, I could have done things better. Pretty hard at 14 to deal with that in any other way, really.
yeah,
You do have choices, guys, though, at any time.
yeah.
I'm not sure about you, man, but you probably would touch on, when I'm talking to the kids, I always say, straight up, if you've got any issues, if there's anything going on at home or within yourself, find someone you can trust and talk to them about it.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, what happens, man, if you
Yeah.
don't deal with it?
You're looking for an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that only, it just puts you on that mouse wheel, which is just an endless cycle, you know. And look, you know, we've all got dreams. I mean, you know, what are yours? I mean, you know, for the younger youth, you know, they might want to be lawyers, doctors, girls, you know, you might want to be beauticians or models, you know. And my dream was always to become a sailor. I joined the Navy, you know.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
And you know, that was my dream, and I did it. I joined up when I was 16, and see, life's made up of good choices and not so good choices. And I made quite a few not so good choices while I was in there. And 3.5 years later, 5 of us, including myself, 6 of us, we ended up getting drafted to the biggest ship in the Navy. It's called Citizenship, and we got ousted with a snarler, which was our services no longer required.
Wow.
But
How did that feel, man? Like, being that was your dream, there was some distance from that first event, and I'm sure it would have felt good signing up to the Navy and actually going out. How did that feel, man?
no, absolutely.
If that was your dream.
That was the rule. Not pride as in, you know, but I really felt proud to serve my country.
Yeah, not.
You know,
Man.
but when that happened, again, guilt and shame was not just upon me now, it was on my family as well. That, you know, because my parents were proud of me, you know, and that was just a little kick in the guts, you could say. But me and my smart wisdom said, well, look, you know, the damage is done now, why stop?
Yeah.
I mean, don't have that attitude, you know. I mean, there's always a better way. But it didn't take long, and I was never one to do things by half measures. I was always looking for something better and a better rush and stuff like this. So I started on the road, long spiral road downhill.
How old were you when you were discharged, man?
19.5, 20.
So that's a lot. You've already crammed in a lot in that 6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, man.
Yeah.
What happened after the discharge?
So yeah, shortly after that, it's always peer pressure. It's your mates. Things just don't happen by accident. I mean, there's always a reason, and it's picking your friends. Pick your friends, you know. Look, I started using speed, cocaine. LSD was a weekly event for me as well.
And that's.
And then I even got into the heroin. Not heavy, but I mean, I was one that I'd try anything, but just don't do it. Make smarter choices than me.
Hey, can I ask you, man, how were you using the heroin? When you used it?
Smoking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at 21, I copped my first DUI charge. Lost my license for 3 months and $300. And money's money. I mean, you know, it just doesn't grow on trees unless, you know. So about 6 months later, or just after this, losing the license, there was a new devil introduced to me, and it was called crank. And I used to knock around certain clubs, and I'd actually been exposed to this to try it, and it gave me a really high. And the thing is, when I tried that, the percentage-wise, as far as purity, was only like 15 to 17%.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
these days, you know, you're looking at 75 to 80% plus.
So this is ice you're talking about?
Well, crank was another name for methamphetamine.
Okay, sure.
So,
Sure.
I about 6 months after this use, I actually went down to the pub with our mates and
Yep.
got into a fairly vicious fight down there.
So using for 6 months, man, of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
crank.
yeah.
So were you sort of, once you had the crank or the ice,
Mhm.
was that because it gave you that extreme high? Were you like, well, this is what I want?
Absolutely.
Did that suck you in? Did the other drugs fall to the wayside?
Well, I was poly using a little bit. I mean, I was still smoking dope and but like probably trips to the LSDs. That was occasionally as well, but it was mainly speed was my drug of choice. But when I got onto this
Yep.
crank or meth,
Yep.
it's
How were you
just
using it then, man?
smoking.
Yep. So you out of a glass pipe.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And we went down the pub, and push come to shove down there, and ended up getting into a fairly vicious fight down there.
How did that come about, man? What state were you in?
Well, I was pretty scattered.
Yeah.
Okay, I was pretty
Can
scattered.
you explain scattered for the people
Okay.
out there?
I'll call it a psychotic episode. Okay. There was, like I said, it was push come to shove, and then I just saw red, and then I just went in. And it ended up 5 cops come. I was restrained with 2 sets of handcuffs.
Wow.
Right? This is in Sydney. Now I can guarantee if it was in Melbourne, they would have shot me,
Wow.
because the cops at that stage were pretty trigger happy. So
Wow.
End
2
result-
sets, man.
end result was 5 counts of malicious injury, 10 grand's worth of damages. So this thing went to Supreme Court in Sydney, and it went for a period of about 3.5 years. And over that period, I was still using, and I was entertaining some very dark thoughts of suicide, and we all know, look, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So you know, this stuff messes with your head. You know, you think you're in control of it, but it has control of you. Okay, and there's only, the percentage-wise, there's only 2% of people can beat this addiction. This is like the burger with the works. There's no picking and choosing with this. You're going to get the highest high you'll ever get, but this is going to take you to the lowest low.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter how much you use. In the end, you lose. This takes control of you.
Doesn't
So,
discriminate.
It doesn't discriminate.
Doesn't
And,
matter
you
your
know,
background, doesn't matter your age, race, religion, and if you use meth, it'll take everything from
Absolutely, it'll rob you. It'll rob you. So
you. Not just your physical possessions either, man. It takes you away, doesn't it?
It's your mind, your soul. It's like a demon.
Yeah.
This thing just takes over you.
Can I ask you one thing, man? What caught me when you were saying that is it went on for 3 years, this court case, and you were still using for that.
3.5 years.
So 3.5 years. So that event wasn't enough to snap you out of it? That fight and that?
I needed this. I needed this drug.
So,
Yeah.
so you say for that first 6 months you were using, how much were you using each day? Did it become daily?
It was. Yeah, there'd be times that it'd be daily. I'd try and string it out a little bit, obviously. I didn't have to, you know, honestly, I didn't have to steal to support this habit. But the end result was I lost my marriage, 2 kids, value-wise in 2 houses, and I lost my dream career, and I nearly lost my life.
Wow. Yeah, stripped everything, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the court case, man. What were the feelings around that? Like, you were still high using up to the court case? Did you take a break when it was
Well,
coming to crunch?
trying to minimise my usage.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was poly using, so I was trying to counteract that with the dope.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's those dark thoughts that you get. You know, it just takes you to a place you don't really want to go to.
Look, people out there, a lot of people out there, because I mean, people will be watching this years to come. Even this is going to be on the Facebook page. A lot of people out there won't understand those dark thoughts. You know, I do.
Yeah.
Share with the people out there how dark
Okay.
were those thoughts. What place were you in?
If you're just straight, if you're a normal person, and you be sleep deprivated for 2 to 3 days, you start to get the wildest, scariest thoughts that are just in your mind. Well, you're just going to multiply that by 20, 50 times. It's a nightmare. It is a living nightmare. And all you want to do is you just want to get on. Your brain's just telling you, you just need this. You just need this. And, I was still functioning. See, for an ice addict, we'll just say it's like oxygen. Oxygen you need to breathe. When you're using, you need this just to be normal. Okay? You just need it to be normal. And, I tried to hide it pretty good. This is probably be a shock to a few people, but, I got to a point where I was that low. I was at the lowest point in my life where I just cried out and I said, well, if there's a God out there, I said, I need help. I can't do this alone. And the funny thing was, a guy invited me along to church a couple of days later, and that was a turning point in my life. It literally was because, I made a commitment to Christ. I mean, this is my personal faith, and I just couldn't do this on my own strength. I just needed that hand up, and I found that I just began to change. The cravings were virtually. When I was in church and I went through sinner's prayer, I mean, I was out of it. I was off my face. I went through it and I was instantly straight. And I thought, wow, what's happening here? This is spooky, And and because of all the guilt and everything that I was carrying from this court case, it was dead set like a wet blanket just dropped off my back.
Yeah.
And I was just standing there normal, but it just felt like my arms just shot up, and it just felt like handcuffs just breaking apart, And I just, wow, so I thought, okay, the message was, become a new person in Christ, all things past are forgiven and forgotten. And man, I got a second bite at the apple, second chance at life.
And so many people out there don't get a second chance with this.
That's
a lot of people, as soon as they use, they'll take it to the grave. I know we keep sharing this 2% stat. It's very true. Only 2% get it. So 98 people out of 100 don't get off ice.
That's right.
And the AIRC have a real passion to change that stat, guys.
Yeah.
Prevention is the key, and we need to get into the schools and educate our kids. And miracles do happen, We're in your darkest hour, miracles do happen. It might not be Christ that you find, but miracles happen in your darkest hour. When you're really ready in your heart singing out for change, miracles do happen. Amazing.
I know of people that have had strokes and heart attacks and even died from it, But I was just so overjoyed. I rang up my Queen's Counsel. I was happy to share to him. I said, I've become a Christian, and he was all, well, good choice. You've seen the light.
Better than crank.
Mate, I'm telling you, there was just no comparison. And he said, but you do realise you've got about 3 phone books of dossiers, and he was just reiterating, because of my criminal activities, that it wasn't a matter of me. I was going to jail, right? They'd already had a name and a number over a cell out of Long Bay Jail. He said it's only up to me to find out when and for how long. Okay, this was serious stuff, you know. And he said, but I got this letter delivered to me this morning on my desk with your name on it from the Attorney General's office. And I said, okay, well, what did it say? He said, I haven't opened it yet. So I said, okay. So I'm sitting there listening as he's
On the phone.
as he's fumbling through and he's reading away in silence. And he said, I don't believe what I'm reading. And he said, all your charges have been quashed and thrown out of court. And that, my friends, is divine intervention, set free in mind, body and spirit, and free from drug addiction. So, I mean, you know, that's a living testimony I can give to somebody.
Yep. Sure.
There is hope out there, you know.
Absolutely, there is hope.
And if you need to talk to somebody, please do what you can do. Get on the phone, talk to somebody, get in contact with AAIC. We got numbers that we can refer you to. There's, you know, for detox and you know, there's always hope. There's always hope. So just don't give up. Don't give up. You know?
Very true, man. Reach out, guys. If you're in a situation, reach out. We've got people trained here that can do brief interventions. So if you're in addiction and you're like, I'm over this, you know, so many.
Absolutely.
My experience is you can't force someone into recovery.
No.
Those people that get forced to go to rehab because of a court matter or forced by the family, it can work. Yet the percentage of those people I've found like often relapse because it hasn't come from within them. So,
or they're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, to get their time off their jail or whatever it is. You know, something's got to change within. And I say it like you've got to get over it. And I mean, you've got to want to get off it. You've got to want to get off it. Otherwise, nothing's going to change.
See, I'm leading a horse to water and you can't make him drink it, but...
No, but there is other options out there, guys. And where was it going with that? Yeah, we've got people that do brief interventions, guys. So if you are over it, then feel free to give us a call and we can send some people out there to have a chat to you about your options, where to go from there. We are always there on the phone. You can always get in touch with us. So you don't have to do it alone. It's a nightmare to live in. If you haven't used it, I would suggest you don't. Family support number, guys, for those ones who have a loved one dealing with in addiction, who want some support or need to know more about what they're going through. Family support and brief interventions as well. 0481 844 555. That's Brooke or Jeanette. Jeanette is running that now, lovely lady. So get in touch, guys. Yeah, what else, man? Tell us about your recovery. Like, I'm so impressed. 15 years. We got 15 years clean. And, you know, I'm coming up to 3, man, and I'm like, well done. To have 15, that's a fantastic effort, man. Congratulations on that. Yeah. Can you share with the people out there who are fresh into recovery, or even if they're a few years down the way, how you've managed to abstain? Have you had temptation along the way? Has it been an easy road, you know? Have you ever, you know, been challenged and thought you might go back to it?
Well, you know, there's been times where you have an ice-induced psychosis, if you want to call it that. I call it flashback. And, you know, it might be some place I may have visited. It might be something, there's a certain smell or music. And that'll sort of take me back to, you know, I was using there or something like this. And sure, the temptation's always there. It's always going to be there, you know. It's not a, you know, we've still got a free will to choose. Remember, good choices, not so good choices. If you can get into a rehab, I didn't have to go for a rehab, and I'm thanking God for that, because I was delivered from it. You know, not everybody gets that, but you know, if you get the opportunity and you can get yourself, you know, through detox and into a rehab, there's obviously they're still working on a 12-step system.
Yeah.
You know,
Do that.
so you know, get yourself a sponsor and get some support around you. You know, that's you're not meant to do it on your own. If you can do it, join the army, join the AAIC army. You know.
Absolutely. If you don't know what the Army is, guys, go to the website, the Australian Anti-Ice Campaign.org.au. Join the Army. That is a way that the community out there can assist AAIC, educate the youth. Like I said last week, we don't just have the workshops for kids. It's also suitable for businesses, sporting clubs, you know, family groups, whatever. The workshop's tailor-made for whoever needs it. Also, we are non-for-profit, not government-funded, and we are a charity. Yay! We've got the charity
so
status.
all $2 and over, it's tax deductible.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? $2 counts, guys.
Yeah.
It's $1 counts. No, you know, every dollar.
Everyone counts.
Educate one.
$2 actually educates one kid.
There you go.
So there you go.
So any concerned parents out there, or any young folk out there that have got friends that may, you know, be tempted to try this, please just, you know, I won't say don't, because you know if something's painted up, fresh paint, it says don't touch. The first thing we do, what do? Touch it to see if it's wet.
A big message we've got at AAIC, which is where I think you're going with it, is not even once.
That's it.
Because it's not worth it, guys. You try this once, very likely to get addicted, and as you've heard from Retro's story and the stories last week, it takes you to a very dark place. I never hear a recovering addict tell me a positive experience that they've had with methamphetamine. It's always, I've never been so low, violence, deceit. That's what the world is. It lives, it breeds on deceit, and there's no trust, no real friends in this game. So the Army, guys, you can make monthly donations to that, one-time donations. We're also seeking sponsors. If you are a business and you would like to become a corporate sponsor, we've got corporate packages for that. Also celebrities, if you are a celebrity or you know a celebrity that might want to come do a short video and show their support for AAIC, that'd be fabulous.
Awesome.
That'd be awesome. Thank you for sharing, Retro. Mate, this video is going to be seen by a lot of people over a period of time. I know you've shared, you know, not to do it and that. Is there anything that you'd like to say? You know, anything more to people out there that might come across this drug?
Well, if you come across it, don't take it. Make a better choice. Save yourself the grief. Save yourself the heartache. It's not worth it. So, you know.
Thank you so much, man. Like, seriously, a blessing to have you on, man. To have that much time clean after everything you went through from such a young age, man. Really, congratulations. Well, I mean that, brother. There you go. I love
Okay.
it. I love it.
We'll do it again. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Bless you all.
Thanks,
Bless you,
man.
mate.
Thank
Been
you,
a
bro.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, guys, our message at AAIC is not even once, and that's us for this week. Is there anything else?
Next week.
Next week, we've got... So that's us for this week, guys. Next week, I've got George on the show. Yes, George is, like I said last week, a guru when it comes to recovery and
Absolutely.
addiction. He runs a dual diagnosis course online for AAIC.
And anger management.
Yeah, awesome guy, is an absolute book of knowledge, and personally I love being in the space of someone who realises their passion at such a young age and is many years into it. You know, I always learn something from George. He's such a blessing to be around. Question and answers, guys.
Don't
Retro,
forget,
you're a blessing.
Don't forget, we need volunteers, guys. We need volunteers. Even it's only for an hour, even down at the cook-up, they're doing volunteers for that as well,
Yeah.
at the barbecues. Please, if you got just an hour, 2 hours, it's muchly appreciated. Because like we say, it's a non-paid thing. We're doing it for love.
Absolutely.
Okay?
The more the merrier.
Absolutely.
So not even once, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Amazing show next week.
Yeah.
Thanks to Retro again. Lots of love, people. Awesome show. Can't wait till next week.
And thanks for having
Share
me.
the post.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All good.
Pleasure.
See you guys.
Cheers.